Another one of my live stream lectures. And before I get started, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. You know, my channel would not be where it's at today without all of my supporters. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture. This is one of those lectures that ties into the core concept of my channel, you know, financial freedom, that money piece. So the focus of this lecture is I am on the path. You know, if the audience is aware, I've been living a minimalistic lifestyle for several years. But however, since I've been fully retired, September of 2025, I made 2 years that I've been fully retired, and you know, by the grace of God, I'm just so, you know, happy and thrilled to be in this position. I don't really know many people in this world who's in the position of getting retirement income every month, where they literally don't even need that money. They can literally reinvest their retirement income. I have been able to reinvest my entire retirement income since I've been retired into another retirement account. But with that being said, the focus of this lecture is I'm going to share with the world the trajectory path, the path that I'm on to continue to live a minimalistic lifestyle. Finna even go more minimalistic within the next few months. And what I mean by a minimalistic lifestyle, years ago, long before I retired, I got rid of all unnecessary worldly possessions, meaning everything. For example, all of the furniture in my home. Prior to me even selling my home, I had got rid of all of the furniture in my home a couple of years before I retired. Everything in the living room, dining room, all of the bedrooms, dishes, pots, pans, stove, refrigerator, everything was gone. And I embraced that minimalistic lifestyle. So prior to me selling my home, when I put it on the market, it was already empty. But here I was living that way about 3 years before I sold my home. Since I've been in full retirement, you know, I've had the opportunity to go visit a couple of places out of the country, the Cairo, Egypt, to see many of the 7 wonders of the world within Cairo, the Giza Pyramid, the Valley of the Kings, the biblical Nile River. 2024, I took a guided tour to Rome and Italy, you know, went to the Vatican, seen a lot of the historical buildings in Rome. It was breathtaking. The latter part of this year, when I get my project out of the way, I actually just renewed my passport. My next destination would be Paris, and that's retirement, people. And I'm doing this without going in debt. That is what retirement is: being able to do the things that you want to do on your bucket list and to remain debt free. So what are the things I'm doing is I'm working on a project where I own 15 acres of land. I cleared out probably about a half acre of my land, and cleared out to get ready to put my camper on my land. And that's going to set the stage for me to get out of this matrix. Virtually already don't have any bills. But when that camper is set up, when I'm, you know, got everything, all of my contractors in place, and I tell anybody, ownership of land, people, is power. That's when you begin to transfer that wealth. That 15 acres of land has been inherited down in my family for well over 100 years. And when I really retired and really start visiting my mother's hometown to connect with nature, to see what I have inherited, you know, that light bulb went off. Go ahead and remove myself out of this matrix, clear some area of that land, set my camper up, and reduce my debt to even lower. Because when I do that, all the bills I have in the world right now is a little less than 1,000. But once I set my camper up, all those that I'm having in the world on a monthly basis will be under $300. Real talk, people. When you own your land, when you own your camper, everything is paid for. Then the only thing I have is my utilities, food, and my bottled water. Real talk. And that will keep me on the trajectory path to continue to reinvest 100% of my retirement income into another retirement income. September of 2025 will make 2 full years that I've been retired. I get a couple of pensions. When I get old enough, I get Social Security, so that'll be pension number 3. I was able to exit up out of this workforce early, retired from state government, and the rest is history. So, and I tell people, and I have a lot of conversations with people in the real rural, and I tell them it's not about what you make. It is about who in this world do you owe, your debt to income ratio. I know people who are making 6 figures, $250,000 a year, 6 figures. And if a $400 emergency was to occur, they don't even have the money to cover a $400 emergency, borrowing gas money. Because people need to shift their mindset to understand that when you begin to cut loose worldly possessions, which is one of the descriptions of minimalistic living, and embrace nature, and begin to have more disposable income to travel this world, to see the 7 wonders of the world, life experience, which is a description of minimalistic, I would prefer to recoup all my money, all my retirement. So when I do, as I continue to travel this world, 2023, I went to Cairo, Egypt, stood before structures, the Giza pyramids, that was well over 4,600 years old, to walk inside of the Valley of the Kings, to see those hieroglyphics, to ride on the biblical Nile River in Cairo, Egypt. Rural, all that predates Christ. I did not return the same from Cairo, Egypt. That was a spiritual journey. When I took that guided tour to Rome and Italy in 2024, being able to walk inside of the Roman Colosseum, to walk inside of the Vatican and see the 16th chapel painted by the famous Michelangelo, to all of those Roman historical buildings, was breathtaking. And when you begin to really be able to do this, it requires a shift in mindset, because what I just described ties into life experiences and ties into a minimalistic lifestyle, connecting with nature. Like I said, I've been cut loose a lot of my worldly possessions years ago. I understand the power of debt to income ratio and really embracing nature, which all of that ties into financial freedom, minimalistic living. And when I went to my family reunion this weekend, talking to a lot of my family members, young children, people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, older than me. And as I'm talking and listening to people, I could not stress enough that it is not about what you make, it is who do you owe. Marie Holiday, I don't owe anybody nothing. I have no debt roll other than my utility bills and food, my cell phone bill, my bottled water. That's pretty much it. And that's power. So what that does is that frees me up all of my retirement checks that I've been getting now for almost 2 years, to the point where I can reinvest 100% of both of my retirement every single month without skipping a beat. Even though I'm fully retired, I do have a home office. I still make money under my credential. I'm a licensed clinical addiction specialist. I'm credentialed in 3 states. So I still make money under my credential, but I only book my clients 2 days out of the week. So the money I generate under my company, I use that to pay my bills and reinvest a lot of that. So I say that to say, if I would have entered retirement, because being debt free also is a powerful description of minimalistic living, people. If I would have entered retirement in debt, then I would have high probability I would have to use my pension income to pay bills. But because I have no bills, then what I'm doing is I got a very good financial advisor where I'm reinvesting 100% of both of my pensions into another retirement account. I don't know too many everyday normal people who can do that, Earl. Most people, better yet, everybody I know in retirement, when they get their retirement income, they have debt to pay: rent, mortgage, car note, credit card, school loans, and the list goes on and on. I was debt free years before I retired. And I have remained my debt-free lifestyle so I can continue on my trajectory path to go see all of the 7 wonders of the world debt-free. I do not go in debt to do that, world. Debt-free. When I book my guided tour, you know, I pay for that all up front. So I'm not creating new debt to go travel this world. And I can do that because I have no other debt. So I have more disposable income to continue to live this minimalistic lifestyle. I'm so excited, you know, my contractors, they're done clearing my half-acre of land, clearing it. They don't lay that foundation, getting ready for that camper to go out there. And once that happens, I'm removed from this matrix, people. When that process occur, because I'm going to pay for the camper in cash. I'm not going to create new debt. That 15 acres of land that I inherited from family, that land is paid for. Property tax on that land, $200 a year. So my point is, once I really, really escape this matrix, then what that's going to do is drop my monthly bills down. The totality of all of the bills I have in the world before this year is out will be less than $200 a year. That's power, people. So what that's going to do is position me to continue to reinvest 100% of both of my retirement income, my state income, my military income. I don't even touch the money, period, in any shape, form, or fashion. And that's power. So that's going to allow me to continue every 8 or 9 months, book my next trip abroad to stay on this trajectory path to go see all of the 7 wonders of the world. Real talk, people. No one could have told me from 2007 to 2012, and I talk about this in my book, Awake Financial Freedom. Marie Holiday was living in financial destruction. I didn't have 1 cent to my name, you know, behind in all bills. You know, debt to income ratio, my debt far exceeded my income. Retirement wasn't looking too good. But when I got tired of living like that, living from paycheck to paycheck, 10 years before I retired, I sat my behind down and I wrote a strategic plan, specific steps, action steps that I had to do to eliminate debt before retirement. And when I say eliminate debt, what that's rural. I have no car, no truck, no mortgage, no credit cards, no personal loan, no school loans, no medical bills. Real talk. That's power. And I met that goal a few years before I retired in terms of eliminating all debt. And I have been able to sustain my debt-free lifestyle, people. And that positioned me exit up out of this workforce forever at an early age, and the rest is history. Anybody can do this. If I'm still maintaining a debt-free lifestyle in 2025, real talk, because I had a shift in my mindset way back in 2012 when I had that spiritual battle with God, and God gave me the skills to master my money, to control my money, to write my book, and the rest is history. I learned none of that in graduate school. I got 2 master's degrees. The only thing college taught me was how to get in debt. School loan debt, federal school loan debt, credit card debt, drowning in a sea of debt, real talk. That's what college taught me. It took me going through financial destruction from 2007 to 2012 in a spiritual battle with God that lasted for 24 hours. And when that 24 hours ended, that battle with God, the transformation of Marie Holiday occurred, and the rest is history. This power, because you got people right now who are drowning in a sea of debt, living from paycheck to paycheck. I was one of them. Scared to go to the mailbox, bills hitting them left and right, facing eviction. But there is a way out, because I've been debt free for years now. And my bills are so low, I show a lot of my family members my debt to income ratio, because you can put it up on your credit report. It'll have a list of all of your debt, meaning who do you owe? Mortgage, car notes, school loan, credit cards, stuff in default. It'll be on there. Yeah, it'll be on there. But when I pull my stuff up, I showed it to my nieces. And it's been this way for years. It literally says on my credit report, on all 3 credit reports, Your debt is zero. You don't owe nobody. Zero. Nothing. Zero. And it's been that way for years. And don't believe the myth that you got to have a credit card to have a high credit score. My credit score 850 with debt of zero. I don't owe nobody nothing. That's power. And it's been running 850 for years. Zero. When I tell you zero, nothing's on there. I don't owe nobody nothing. Period. Now, it shows my historical credit history in terms of what I historically had in the past. But for the here and now, when it say debt, you don't owe nobody nothing. So that is how this woman, when my money hit me every month from the military in the state of North Carolina, them 2 pensions, I don't even touch the money. Don't need the money. Don't touch the money. I reinvest the money. And I'm going to do that as long as the spirit guide me. Real talk, people. But if I would have entered retirement with debt, trust me, I would have to have used my pension income to pay monthly bills. Real talk. This is real talk. And that is a full description of minimalistic lifestyle. Minimalistic lifestyle is cutting loose of worldly possessions. Minimalistic lifestyle is about experiencing rural travel, real talk, without going in debt. Minimalistic lifestyle is your health, your wellness, your spiritual, connecting with nature. And minimalistic lifestyle is maintaining your peace. I don't entertain drama from nobody in any shape, form, or fashion. Real talk. Because like I said, I'm on a trajectory path to continue to go see all of the 7 wonders of the world. Check out some of my live footage on my popular videos. You will see a lot of my live footage on Cairo, Egypt, Italy, Rome, the Biblical Nile River, the Giza Pier, all of that. Real talk. That is what life is all about versus working yourself to death. Real talk. So like I said, this is an update in terms of my process in getting ready to continue with my minimalistic living. I'm so excited. Real talk. And also minimalistic living is also being able and having the ability to pass down generational wealth versus passing down debt. And wealth don't always necessarily mean money. No, generational wealth also means when you're passing down assets, when you're spitting that knowledge to those coming under you, and also the money piece too. Real talk. You want to leave your legacy versus passing down debt and struggle stories. Real talk. So again, that's the purpose of this lecture. Is I'm so excited as I in the process of getting ready to go escape this matrix even more. I've been escaped it. Real talk. I ain't trying to impress nobody. None of that. I'm finna connect with nature and live off this land that I had, that was passed down to me throughout the generations, and continue to travel this world and smell the roses and reap the benefits of all of my hard labor. And I want to give all thanks and glory to the Almighty God for awakening me, and giving me the knowledge and the skills and the ability to do what I do in terms of my minimalistic living, to impart my knowledge onto the world, and to embrace this lifestyle and embrace nature. But the most important thing, none of this would be possible without the Almighty God. I give all in grace and glory to Him. Real talk. So be on the lookout in terms of ongoing, as I'm going through this process to exit up out of this matrix. I'm so excited. And like I said, I've been living minimalistic. I've been got rid of all my worldly possessions. Real talk, I'm down to the bare minimum. And it frees me up. When you get rid of all of your worldly possessions, it frees up space. It frees up your mind so you can focus on your prayer, your meditation, traveling. You ain't got to worry about clutter. When I travel abroad, and I was telling one of my cousins this, when I went to Cairo, when I went to Rome, Italy, all of those places, on a guided tour for over 2 weeks, both times, all I literally had on me for that guided tour, because most people, when they're traveling, they're going to have 4 or 5 luggages. Because I embrace the minimalistic lifestyle, when I travel abroad, all I have or all I need is one bagpipe. That's it. Real talk. That's power. So I ain't got to worry about no luggage. When my transporter, when I arrived at Cairo, Egypt, and Rome, and Italy, they arrange it where a transporter picked me up to take me to the destination and meet with the other people in the guided tour. And the first thing the transporter asked me, well, where's your luggage? I said, this is it. I have a backpack. That's it. I travel light. Military taught me that. So I can focus on that experience. I ain't got to worry about keeping up with luggage. Real talk. So again, share this information. I'm so excited as I continue on my trajectory path to escape the spirits. And because I'm full circle. I've had the big house and the cars and the worldly possessions. I've gotten rid of that years ago. Don't miss it. It frees me up so I can focus on connecting with nature, traveling, and ain't got to worry about nothing in any shape, form, or fashion. So that's all I have. Simple Fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own goodness. Have a great day.